if it was me, but I don't like my wobbly hoops, so. But no, Ellie seems happy, so hoop shot,
That's
and
a nice shot.
it's gone past the peg, and looks like it's going to get
a
a
lovely
really
place,
nice
isn't it?
position at 6.
Oh,
I think that's just gone a little bit too far.
Is it possible to get a side camera view, perhaps? Is that it'll be good to get the on-lawn camera sort of level with that hoop, because if black's just even an inch or two south of that hoop, that's runnable, and that's a huge swing.
So they've not gone to look at it.
They've not. Oh no, that's
but
not
they've
quite
shot
runnable.
at it. Oh, that looked very close.
So black is not runnable, but
no,
it's really commanding there,
I
right?
think they should have gone to look at that.
They should have done. That's a bit careless not going to look at that. Black is strong there, but I don't know what good hitting it does, right?
That looks like it's going to try to get very tight as well. That's...
Oh. Well.
Well, they got away with that. I think that should have been aiming for a couple of yards in front, but...
I don't know what the plan was there. I mean, there's a little bit of a celebratory fist bump there, but I think that's... I don't know. That must be by more luck than design there.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where that is, but I think black can probably give it a little nudge into that far wire.
I think blue right now by itself is no good, but black being there, I think black might be about to sneak it into the jaws. And that's the sort of thing that you don't want games decided over, because I mean, black's hoop run was lovely, and in fact, if anything, Ellie was a bit unfortunate not to end up in front of the hoop. Blue's position there is jammy. I mean, like, I'm not really sure what blue was trying to do there, and how many good outcomes were possible from blue's shot. And I think she may have found the only positive outcome possible from that shot. And yeah, this is a real tactical quandary for the Aussies now. I suppose the silver lining of it all for the Aussies is, even though the Kiwis tied up in the hoop, and they can't, and you know, the Aussies can't run the hoop, the Kiwis actually can't get a mallet to anywhere near where Alison is currently gesturing.
Black's completely in the way. So actually, they need to hit black reasonably hard to get it out of that way, even if they are nudging blue. I say reasonably hard. move it more than a ball in a bit.
That's pretty hard, actually. Oh, and Ed's just missed a return clearance. So actually, I think... Sorry, this is darting back to the other game. Ed's just missed a return clearance. And I think that leaves Duncan a pretty short...
It looks like about a 2 foot. Quite angled, I think, but it looks like Duncan's got himself a much shorter hoop shot this time. So, yeah, I think it's definitely under a yard.
And actually, from the position I saw just a few moments ago, the Kiwis must have played exceptionally well to wrestle that back under control so quickly.
Yeah, so the Kiwis won game 1 on that lawn. So this is for...
well, it's for the match, presumably, and no danger of that not going through.
Handshakes there. And yeah, this looks like it's going to be a bit of a nudge with black. Let's see where black ends up at the end of the shot.
Did red stray further? Is that where Alison meant to put it, or did it stray further than she expected? And she's missed the nudge. She's missed the nudge. I mean, that is a super delicate shot, and you've got to catch very, very little. But now she's not caught any of it.
I think the yellow's going into jumping position here. That was a this is a very easy way to swing the game back in the Australians' favour. If they can jump this hoop with yellow and get themselves back in the game at 4-2, with the Kiwis having no approach to hoop 7, they get themselves back in this game. This has to be the line to win them, to get them back in the game.
No, my first thought was stop shot black, and I really hope that's not their first thought, because your line of play is much better. Stick yellow in front.
That looks like what they're doing.
Yeah, because that blue that at first looked like a bonus has now become a complete liability. If blue can't get a mallet to yellow, and I don't think she can.
It's a little bit angled, but...
can she get a mallet to this? Surely not.
No, it doesn't look like it. So it's currently 4-1 to New Zealand. We've got blue tangled up in the hoop. So it's come from the correct side, but it doesn't look like it runs. It looks like it's sat on the right-hand wire.
Yeah, and yeah, this blue that was looking so hopeful a moment before for the Kiwis, total liability.
Yeah. So
red clears black, yellow jumps blue. Where's blue going to approach 7 to?
Blue just has to untangle itself from the hoop, so the Aussies would get first approach. So it's very easy to see how this scoreline goes from 4-1 to
4-2, 4-3, and then potentially 4-all.
Yeah,
and we've got a third game on our hands. And as neutral spectators, that's what we want. But actually, I think Helen's been quite wise there about blue, because it would have been quite tempting to just slap blue into the jaws, right? But I think she's clocked the danger of, if I do that and yellow does jump,
then I'm
losing 7 as well.
Yes, and I think sometimes you've just got to, we're going to need to concede this hoop and just make sure that run collateral damage.
Yeah, and blue going not entirely in the jaws but slightly out means that, okay, the rush peel is now less likely, but if yellow does jump, blue's at least got something to hoop 7, and when you're 4-1 up, you can afford to look to exchange hoops rather than say I must win every hoop.
So actually, blue coming out of that hoop a little bit has made this jump a little bit more difficult, because yellow really needs to get up off the ground in order to get through, because it is quite close to the hoop.
It is, but even so, I think the Aussies will be pretty pleased with this opportunity.
Yeah, it's quite a short jump. So we've got a few other results that have come in from some other games. So we've got the result of George Coulter and Duncan Dixon beating Ed Wilson and Pete Landry for that first match this afternoon to the Kiwis. Felix Webby and Edmund Fordyce levelled against Greg and Robert Fletcher to take that to a third game. And Sonia Sedgwick and Dallas Cook beat Wendy Dixon and Fleur Brockway in the first game in the other women's doubles.
And back on court, I think you nailed it. Jude didn't quite get off the ground quickly enough. Collided with blue. The rush peel didn't happen, but nevertheless, yellow's disappeared away to corner 3, I think.
And Kiwi's back in control.
And Kiwi's in firm control of hoop 6. And yeah, we expected the jump shot to be a swing one way or the other, and that's exactly what's happened.
So this is a really interesting position, because blue's not got a great hoop shot at the moment, but
and we're seeing it again now. In fact, see, it just doesn't quite lift off the ground quickly enough. It's jumping, so it's slightly off.
And she does well to move her foot and body away to make sure that she doesn't hit that blue ball. But so the current layout of the balls, blue's got a really angled hoop shot, but there's the risk of black promoting blue and yellow being such a long way away. So Alison has played the clearance there to avoid that promotion. But both red and yellow are now out of position. Kiwi is really close. I think we're just going to see 2 balls in front of the hoop in nice tight position here.
I think Alison was right to do that clearance, but it's a clearance she really didn't want to have to do, because of the position of the hoop, she had to take it at an angle. Red was always disappearing, and then black doesn't have to do that difficult promotion. She just comes in front. And
I don't think the promotion was that difficult. It was quite straight.
Okay, black doesn't have to do the promotion. We'll leave the adjective out then.
Okay, so yellow back in position.
It's strayed a bit far, hasn't it?
So yeah, shout out to Bill in Australia, who is watching the commentary live here. It's probably somewhere in his nice warm house rather than
he lives about 15 minutes away. He could come down and watch live, but this is the world we live in now, I suppose. But yeah, blue not opting to clear yellow, and instead puts in what looks like it could be a very powerful block on red, right?
I think it might have gone a little bit too far. I think Alison might have something of this.
She certainly started swinging quite quickly, so yeah, certainly at least half a ball. And yeah, at least half a ball.
Great clearance, but yellow's not in position, so...
Yellow's a bit angled, isn't she? And what do you reckon to black? Clear or position? I think position.
I don't think this will be a clearance. I think trying to get the block on yellow is probably better.
Yeah.
Especially with red being so far away. And that looks like what she's playing for.
Yeah, and it's consistent with what we've seen in previous games, and so far it's been working really well for them.
I don't think that's a block.
I don't think it needs to be.
No,
Red's far enough away that I think potentially blocking might be counterproductive, because it makes the double clearance a bit easier. Just looking across to the other side of the venue, it seems like Evan Fordyce and Felix Webby have taken the second game in what looks like it's shaping up to a cracking doubles match against the Fletchers. And Rachel's gesturing, indicating that she's literally just said that.
Yes, it's okay. What a surprise, my husband wasn't listening to me.
Well, that was more of a recap for anyone who may have just tuned in.
And as a recap for anyone that has just tuned in, we are currently on day 4 of the Trans-Tasman. The format is best of 3 tests. We're currently on test 3. Both Australia and New Zealand have won a test each. The first round of test 3 happened this morning and both Australia and New Zealand won 2 matches each. We've had only 1 match this afternoon finished, and that was won by 2 in the New Zealanders. So the current test score is 3-2 to New Zealand. All the other games are still in play. Yeah. We are currently watching Alison Sharp and Judy Wembridge for Australia playing against.
That's short. Helen Rees and Ellie Ross.
Yes.
Sorry, I cut you off. And actually, the Aussies just under-approached that, and New Zealand, having taken a pretty one-sided game 1, are now maintaining their lead and a 5-1 up in the second, and already have eked out an advantage at hoop 7. And that yellow has really not helped the situation anymore for the Aussies. And it's a bit of a shame to see, because right now the Aussies are fighting to stay in this match at all, and they really need to be putting a lot more pressure on the Kiwis here, right?
Yeah, and I think that the easiest way to do that is to have balls in front of hoops.
Yeah.
So I think both blue and black there, they aren't in tight position, but they're in good 2-3 yard position, and you'd be backing both those players to run those hoops. The balls don't need to be in tight positions in front of hoops all the time.
No, the Kiwis are striking a nice compromise with their positioning.
That's a nice shot by
that's
Alison.
Wonderful. That's lovely. But she was forced into it. Yep. That should have been a hoop shot, right? But yeah, the Kiwis have been striking a nice balance all match between putting balls somewhere easy to get to and easy to run from. And the Aussies, by contrast, when they've been approaching hoops, I think they've been approaching a bit tight. If you get it, it's great because you've got a 1 or 2 foot hoop run if you're still there. But quite often they're not still. They're not getting it right. They're hilling off. They're not quite reaching.
So this looks like it was a question of who's doing the jump, me or you. So it looks like Ellie and Helen have decided that Helen should be taking the jump with blue. So Ellie's taking on that clearance, and it looks like she might have. Well, she's got a very good amount of distance on it. She might have also got some black on it as well.
Yeah, she's nodding. She likes that a lot.
Okay.
And to be honest, that's not lucky. That's just the way the balls were lined up. If she hits that centre ball, there's a very good chance that black's going to block yellow. Blue's jump's not straightforward though, but I quite like the playstyle choice.
So I think it's. I was going to say, I was just saying before, wasn't I, that I think it's probably 2 to 3 yards. I mean, we saw Ellie take on that probably slightly longer jump at hoop 4, without really thinking about it. And this is an odd hoop. There's a lot less to lose if Helen doesn't get this over. So yellow's just played back there. So if she couldn't see blue, I'm not sure. Given the scoreline, I'm not sure playing back's the right choice.
You can't go halfway.
No, I suppose red's going to be first to play to the next hoop anyway, isn't it?
If you go halfway and blue begins to get a bit nervous about this jump, blue's got the option of clearing. I really think halfway is a very bad shout. The quickest and easiest way for the Aussies to run this hoop is for blue to mess up this jump, really. But so not quite a that's basically a clearance, isn't it? And had yellow been halfway now, the Aussies would be at a pretty big not disadvantage, but they wouldn't quite have the advantage that they have now.
Yeah, I mean that obviously wasn't plan A for the Kiwis, but that's definitely plan B, isn't it? I mean they've got a 5-1 lead, and Alison being able to run that ball down all the way to hoop 8, quickly turning 5-1 into 5-3 if they're not careful. So that's definitely still a result. For them.
Yeah. Well, certainly compared to the alternative, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, black playing into tight position again there. I still think that that's probably quite easily cleared though, and red can get down to 8 off it. So it's there's quite a large area for yellow to hide in here, wide from blue, which gives a very nice line of play for the Aussies if they're brave enough to play it.
I think I might like to have seen black a bit deeper.
So yeah, that looks like what they're playing for. It looks like I'm not sure that, I think blue can see a bit of yellow there.
Blue's got to have yellow here, right?
Yeah, blue's got to have yellow. I mean, black's just being cleared too far.
Yeah,
I think.
And actually, maybe with a stop shot as well.
So I think with the scoreline, I would be looking at getting red down to the next hoop.
And that's not it. That's gone the left side of the hoop. So you reckon red hits black, but doesn't hold position, but tries to flick off to 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's potentially a little bit greedy, given yellow is in really nice. Yellow's in really nice, but you are 5-1 down.
Yeah. You can't expect to.
But that's not what's been executed. It might have been what she was playing for. I mean, red has come off a little bit on that right hand side.
The problem is when you're 5-1 down, you can't afford to. This is going to sound so glib, but you can't afford to lose any hoops. At the same time, you've still got a hell of a lot of hoops left to win, and if you don't go out and win them, you're just going to lose 7-2, 7-3, 7-4. And yeah, I think the flick off there, even though it lessens your chance of running this hoop, it does maximise your chance of getting another 6. And yeah, if yellow doesn't run very far through here at all.
So they've actually got a few more options now, haven't they? Because of where red is. If yellow doesn't run through very far, they do have a rush. They might have a rush.
Yeah. Jaws is actually what they want here, right?
Yeah, but I think it's very straight in front. I think.
And actually, if yellow doesn't,
I'd be trying to run this down to 2 back. Yellow's quite short in front of.
Yellow should be looking to get to 2 back here, and that's
So I think black's probably just going to go deepish and straightish here. Probably doesn't even need to go that deep, does it? Really. Can only be cleared to that boundary still, so maybe 4 yards.
So it's blue to play.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, sorry.
I think it wants to be cleared. Sorry, I think it's going to get cleared by yellow. So then it's just a position of I don't want to be cleared to corner by yellow.
Yeah, so I think yellow's got to take a decent sized cut on that to get it to the corner. So
yeah, and from that distance, I don't think Julie will be wanting to cut that too much.
No, I think that's a good depth there.
Yeah.
So I think this will just be position with red.
Yeah, sneak in front. Blocking blue's nice. It shouldn't really matter because
I don't think she'll get the block because there's a hill.
Yeah, and actually you'd bang on right. And to be honest, if yellow clears blue centre ball, it's a different blocking line, and there's a good chance now that when yellow clears blue, blue won't be able to run the hoop anyway.
Yeah, and yeah.
Black just wants to come in here, right? There's no need to go overboard and clear yellow.
No, but you've got the option of trying to get a block.
Yeah.
I think I might go a little bit further back than that, but
yeah, I just seem a bit close to the hoop. You might end up with no hoop shot, and you need a hoop shot.
I think that's.
But that looks good.
That looks like it's a good block.
That looks really good.
Quite an angled hoop shot, but yeah, that looks like it's a good block.
But has she got the block? On the camera, it looks like she's got the block.
Yeah, looks like she's got a block from what
there's that momentary pause for Judy where she's like, oh. And yeah, now the very tight hoop block. And given that they had a jump shot not so long ago from here.
Oh,
well,
that's short.
So this is hoop, right?
This has got to be hoop.
This is red.
She took the red at hoop once.
No.
No, hoop. Good. Hoop, good.
I think this is hoop. Should be hoop.
No, that's red.
That's a bit inconsistent with what we see in the rest of the game, right?
Well, no, it's a bit inconsistent with what we saw in game 1. So far in game 2, the only choice they've really had to make was the choice at hoop 1, and they chose the clearance. And I think that was a longer hoop shot at hoop 1 than that one that we've just seen at hoop 2.
I could sort of see the logic if black had an easier hoop shot, but as far as I can tell, black's angled and maybe even blocked by yellow. So and look, this is a jump shot. Why would you turn down a straight along the ground hoop run with blue to only do an angled jump shot with black? To me, that makes no sense.
So I think perhaps the scoreline was playing on that in terms of Alison's ball was in good position and it was in a position that could change 5-1 into 5-3 if she was left that shot.
Maybe. I don't know. I think there was maybe
I mean, that looks like it's a result with black.
It's a result. I mean, I don't think they anticipated to draw that shot. And actually, yeah, we see from the instant replay that it was an okay shot, hit almost what she was hoping for, and then it sort of bounced back, and then the spin on it took it into the draws. And this is a really awkward position for red and yellow now, because if yellow had to jump over, sorry, if black had to jump over yellow to get there, then yellow's properly angled.
It's also very close, and we saw the jump shot at hoop 6. Judy didn't get the height on it as well, so I think we've ruled that jump out for Judy. Nice stop shot clearance.
But what does that do?
I think she was better going off towards hoop 8.
I think she needed. It looks like this hoop's over one way or the other, right?
I think she needed to get off to hoop 8 off that ball.
I think, mind you, Ellie's gesturing to come back to 8. To me, this hoop looks like it's over. What can red do? Is red really going to jump that shot? And are they worried about the snuggle?
I don't. Well, I think the snuggle's suicide, but.
Well, 6-1's also not great, is it?
But she might be able to get something out. She might be able to get it out. I mean, if it's not.
That looked in the jaws. That looks like it's plumb in the jaws.
Oh no, you might be able to get some of that out. You hit this really hard on the left side. I reckon this is coming out.
Yeah, maybe wire first. No, took wire first, and I don't think black budged, did it?
I think black moved. I think red's legal.
Wow, black's going to run up to 8, right?
Yeah. Oh, red's not even gone halfway, so this should be game to the Kiwis now. So that's 6-1 to the Kiwis.
We got a replay. Oh yeah, you're right. Black does wobble. Good spot, Rachel. It wobbles, does a little triangle, and ends up pretty much bang on where it was. So yeah, I think that was actually a bit unfortunate by Alison there, because I think she caught where she needed to hit. Because there's not too many parts of black that you can hit without just dragging black straight through the hoop.
So I think blue might be a little bit of an awkward place.
But I mean, to be honest, the way the Kiwis have been playing, black's walking up to this and running the hoop. Right?
Final hoop. Yeah, I'm taking my 3-yard hoop for 7-1.
6-1 up, you should get nothing but tunnel vision. You should just see hoops and that's it. Should point out I've lost a lot of games that way, but but yeah, that's my top tip for the day.
So this is a clearance, red on black.
Yeah, and it's got to be done, right?
Yep. I think so. Definitely the right shot.
It's not quite there. So, make your bet. Yeah, quick ask of permission, and yeah, Ellie didn't take much persuasion there. Hoop. I think that's the right choice.
Okay, so this would be 4-7-1, and the second match to the Kiwis this afternoon, if Ellie runs this.
Ooh, not quite. Not quite.
Not quite. But first attempt at hoop 8, and she's hung around.
And to be honest,
yellow looks quite easy.
And to be honest, yeah, but to be honest, I backed her to get that, and you know, 50-50 at a, you know, I'd be expecting her to get that at least half a time.
Oh, it's definitely got to be the right shot.
Yeah,
6-1 up.
At 6-1 up, you can take a hell of, like, you know, you can, like, 5 50-50 hoop shots is great. You know, you're odds on to get at least one, and that's what you need.
Odds on to get at least one.
Odds on.
Ooh.
Oh dear. And actually,
that's quite interesting. Then now,
I wonder, because Judy's had a short. I mean, throughout this tournament, Judy's been pretty solid from what I've seen of her play, but the last few hoop shots.
Yeah, so
I think she'll be disappointed with a lot of them, to be honest. And I wonder if she's getting a little bit jittery around the hoops.
Yeah, so it looks like Ellie was checking there for what her line on getting the block or the snuggle on yellow was before Helen put blue into position there. So it looks like they'll be playing the block on that shot. So I think that's probably going to need to force a clearance out of Alison here with red. just because black is so close to that line already.
Potentially. I guess the alternative is say I don't think you're going to get that block, but I mean it does look like quite an easy block for black, doesn't it?
It does look quite easy, and even if she gets half a ball, yellow's being lost, isn't it?
But actually, red was misplaced there, so it hit the concrete and came back into lawn. So it's not actually in lawn; it's actually on the boundary, and that changes the shot a little bit. But yeah, she still decided that this block's too easy, and she needs to do something about blue now.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment.
And that's a good shot.
That's nice.
That's a good shot. And actually, what does black do now?
Go in front. Slightly far side, maybe where her right foot is.
I think you need to be a bit deeper than that.
Force. Yeah, I think a bit deeper is fine.
Right, what do you reckon to this? Black plays to blue. Blue does the return promotion.
Red's too close. It's very stylish.
Thank you.
But I think red's too close. I think it's fine. It looks like she's just clearing yellow.
And I think that works too.
Yeah.
I mean, so black's not going to be in front of the hoop after this shot, but it does limit yellow's options. It forces yellow to go deeper than Judy would otherwise
it's also being more proactive, isn't it? It's taking control. You know, she's happy taking on that clearance.
Yeah.
And putting blue in position and then taking on that clearance. I think that's sort of more consistent with what we've seen them doing. So.
And actually, if Judy goes tight in front of this hoop,
I don't think she can afford to go tight in front of this hoop.
And where Alison's gesturing right now, Judy's not had a great time around the hoops in this game, right? She's messed up a couple of hoop shots that she would have normally been banking on, and I think putting yellow there, if she has that hoop shot next rotation, will she take it? Will she want to take it?
That looks like it's gone a little bit past where Alison said, so it's even more angled. And it's just ball in with blue here.
It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think black's gearing up for the clearance on yellow? Or do you think blue in is just a default?
I think blue in has just got to be the default. I think you've got to have a good reason to not put blue in as the default here. I think it will just be what Ellie fancies, won't it? I think
that is a pretty good position.
Given the what we've seen so far, I think both the block and the clearance here are definite options for them. I think it will just be what she fancies and potentially what red does here. I mean, if red misses to the boundary here, I think this could easily be a ball in wide from red. But
I think there should be a ball in. Ball in here. The danger is that...
Ooh, that looks a little close to that block line, but I think it's just a bit short.
Yeah, it didn't quite straight into the block line.
So is this going to be a clearance on red, or is she eyeing up yellow?
It's a clearance on red. And then if she gets it, is yellow going to have the hoop?
Wow, red will be over towards hoop 9.
Wow. So yellow was put there with the threat of taking on this hoop shot. She's got that hoop shot. Does she want it? I'm really not sure she does. And this is the thing. I think if you put a ball into hoop running position, whatever position you choose, you really should be comfortable having that hoop shot if it's still there next round.
Yeah, this is a little bit long and a little bit angled, I think, isn't it?
And that's why she's opting for blue. And that's part of the reason you need to be willing to take on the hoop shot, because she's taking on a clearance there, and they're well behind in the hoop now. Yellow's disappeared off to the boundary, and she's not had a hoop shot out of it.
Yeah, so they're forcing themselves here that yellow's going to have to be clearing blue next turn from that boundary, and I don't think she'll be clearing it far enough.
No, and moreover, red comes in, but black's got a shot, and I think black's going to clear red just as a safety almost.
Yeah, so it's quite short, isn't it? It's only 4 yards.
And it's shorter, and significantly it's shorter than yellow's clearance. Yeah. So black's exchanging a clearance with yellow, a 4-yard clearance by black is being exchanged for an 8-yard clearance by yellow. And the longer that goes on, the more it's going to favour the Kiwis, right?
Yeah, has to. Those distances involved. So you can just see on the far lawn there the Fletcher Webby Ford ice game still in progress. That looks like they're
Hoop 1.
Hoop 1.
It's developing into a real battle.
Game 3, yes, they're having a...
and actually, Alison's swinging here. This is a clearance.
Okay, so Judy said she didn't like the clearance. I think that's better. I think that Alison tends to get a little bit more power in those clearance shots. So I think swapping to
this is
Alison doing those clearances is well. So but here you can get yellow in position wide from blue, and then red's taking that clearance on black.
That's the only line of play available here.
That's the only way they're going to be generating a hoop shot anytime soon here.
Because I'm a bit worried to see Alison and Judy slipping back into this very defensive-minded, clear, and
oh no, it looks like she's pointing at the spot I talked about.
I'm pleased to see that. I mean, this approach has got to start paying dividends pretty quickly to overturn this deficit right now, but I think it's the right choice, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
Get Judy wide from blue and bank on clearing with red and cut out all this clearing.
Yeah, so I mean that basically only leaves the blue has to play for the block. The block on red on black there.
And importantly, that block is only going to be a block.
Yeah, and it's coming along the wrong line. So it's probably 2 yards. It's probably still, you've still got, maybe, well, no, they're not going for that. They're just going for a ball in front.
I think where Ellie's just gestured, the hill will pull it into blocking black, right? And
yep.
So I should point out that out of all games in the Trans-Tasman region, I've only watched
games on this lawn,
and every single game starts off by approaching this hoop. So we've got a pretty good mental map of the hills around this hoop, whereas other players won't have played on this lawn at all. And yeah, a lot of people have fallen foul of that little pocket there. As it turns out, did Alison even check to see whether that was blocked? I don't think it really changes things, does it, that it was blocked?
No, I don't think so.
And in the end, she delivered a really good clearance because red hung around and she's got distance on black.
Yeah, she does. That's...
and it's just been
dragged. That's a little bit too far, I'd say.
Yeah, dragged across the face of the hoop there, wasn't it?
So I think this actually means they don't need to take on the hoop shot with yellow here. It's a not very nice looking hoop shot. Yeah, she's just looking at blue, isn't she? So this yellow really needs to get past black, I would say.
I really don't know where you want yellow after this. If you go past black, then black can put in a block.
I think you want to come off a little bit on the left, so you end up a couple of yards. Perhaps not quite that far, but I think that's the sort of line you want.
That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit closer to black would be better, but yeah, I think that's all right.
Yeah, maybe just south of black, so that...
So you've got to be really careful with blue here that you don't put it somewhere where red can hide behind it.
I don't think there's much danger of that.
No, not the spot they're looking at. But if you're looking a little bit further out from the hoop,
oh yeah, 1 yard slap bang in front, you could inadvertently just give a hiding spot to red.
Yeah,
and
so
this hoop could turn very badly, very quickly.
But then if you're trying to get that close, there's a good chance you're not going to get in front.
Yeah, yeah. But so far, the Kiwis have had okay position.
I think
that's slowing down.
That's quite angled. But doesn't give anywhere for red to hide.
And in a way, that's their first priority, because I'd say
I think they were just playing the block shot. I don't think they.
Is this a hoop shot though? Is this a hoop shot? Alison's gearing up. I suppose what's the downside of taking it?
Well, if you go anywhere else in front of the hoop, black's just clearing you.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe hoop shot. And it looks like that's what she's chosen too.
It's given blue a useful nudge.
Yeah, as far as rejections go, that's okay.
Yeah, so we've got red still in front, yellow is open on blue, and
is
blue...
Is this really a block?
Oh, no, that's wrong. A block is wrong. No, it looks like she's going for a clearance.
Okay, it looks like Ellie didn't spot that. Partner was suggesting a block, because this is a big swing for a block.
Yeah, no, block's just got to be wrong. Yellow clears blue to corner 3.
Absolutely.
Or towards corner 3.
It's asking for trouble. And yeah, the Kiwis have maintained their advantage at this hoop with a really nice stop shot there by Ellie. And yeah, Kiwis have just been playing really solid croquet, not letting the Aussies have any easy shot at the hoop, but occasionally allowing them a very difficult shot at the hoop. And I think they've gauged pretty well their opponents here, right? I think they've gauged what hoop shots they will and won't make and take.
Yeah, I think they've made some good decisions there when they've sort of been losing control of a hoop. They've recognised that they're going to need to give their opponents a shot on the hoop, and they've sensibly picked which one they're going to give them. They've been a little bit lucky in that the Australians haven't really capitalised on the chances that they've been given in those opportunities, but I think they have made the right choices about which shots to give them.
And it seems to be a pretty even partnership. Like Ellie's 16 years old, so it's pretty good to see that she's got a pretty good tactical head on her shoulders already. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it's a strictly senior-junior partnership. It seems like pretty even, and the tactics coming out of it are very good.
And I wouldn't say there's particularly that we've spotted either of those two being particularly stronger than the other in any particular aspect of the game either as well. Which I mean, you can have doubles partnerships where you've got a definite clear, a definite positional player, and it does change the dynamics of the partnership.
It does,
quite a lot.
And it and it can mean that the polarity of balls is very important in that situation. But yeah, both of these players seem to be just general all-rounders with similar tactics. And sometimes big clearers and positional players, they can complement each other really well in doubles partnerships. And the differences between them means that together the two players can have strategies that individually neither could do. But sometimes
can get you into a bit of trouble, especially when in terms of their polarity.
Yeah, and in those cases, having two general all-rounders with similar play styles also can work very well.
This is an interesting choice. It's okay, but I mean that clearance is still not that long.
I suppose. I think that's okay, right? I mean, if Judy does this return clearance. The Aussies have got the advantage, but if she doesn't...
I would have expected them to put a block in there, actually, given some of the previous shot selections that they've made there. I don't think this is a long enough clearance to warrant that, but...
That's true, but I think Judy was certainly clearing before. There's now a question mark over whether she'll get much distance on blue, and that's a good clearance.
Nice clearance.
Distance isn't quite there, but... Yeah, I think putting that question mark over how far blue is going to disappear to, because red has got a hoop shot. I'm a bit surprised to see that the last shot was a clearance and this shot is a block. I'm a bit surprised.
Well, the distance is irrelevant if they're playing the block here.
Not quite. If you're playing the position, I don't think distance is too relevant. I think if you're playing the block, it's certainly a lot easier. And that...
It's open.
It's only just open, though. I thought that was... bang on perfect, but no, it's just rolled open, and the problem is that must be wide from yellow, right?
Well, it doesn't
I can't
matter.
see yellow. Yellow's
they've not put it on the lawn.
That's careless. And if Alison runs the hoop, then it doesn't really matter where yellow is. But if Alison blobs,
they should definitely be putting yellow on the lawn
should be on
before
the lawn
they play this
because
shot.
we don't know whether yellow is wide or not.
And we don't know if it isn't wide, where red ends up, it might be important.
Even now, we don't know whether yellow's wide or not.
Well, I think it's unlikely
it must be open, but...
I think it's probably just bounced back off the concrete and bounced back off to there. We've not been seeing much big hitting on this lawn, so I think it's probably about
But that is careless, and actually, I think Alison going for the ball there was an error, because 2 balls on this boundary is really bad news for the Aussies. Ellie's putting a ball in position. Aussies, best case scenario, have got a clearance next turn.
Well, this has got to be yellow. This has got to be yellow wide to position from yellow wide. Oh,
blue runs.
Blue runs?
Blue runs. It doesn't look like it on camera, but in real life, it's...
Well, it's definitely jawsing, isn't it? Or it can jaws.
I tell you,
run.
That runs.
What percentage is that?
They're looking at it. Look at the angle that Alison stood between on the line between blue and the hoop. I think that's fine.
Yeah, but look at the line that Judy's on. I think the line that Judy was on was the line that the hoop is. I don't think that's not a guaranteed run at all.
No, certainly not. Because if it was guaranteed, there wouldn't be a discussion about it. But
so I think this is a perfect example of what we were saying before about what the Kiwis were doing, that they might be conceding blue's hoop shot to get them back in this hoop. If you put yellow in position.
But in this instance, I don't think you can leave that hoop shot. And I don't think they think that either.
And I don't think that's a nice shot.
That's really good. The only potential issue is that black's position means that Alison has to do something about black.
Well, red's got to clear black.
Yeah, but if Alison hits that shot, the Aussies have got a hoop shot, and we just got to hope that they recognise that that is going to be a rare opportunity and they need to take it.
And they still have a hoop shot.
They still got a hoop shot, so Alison, she gets good contact with black here. Yellow's got an okay chance at the hoop. And yeah, Alison's lining up a clearance. And it's not the hit.
So this is another hoop run for Ellie with the opportunity to win. Tie this match up.
You know, some people here would be looking at yellow being like, oh, if black doesn't run, yellow's going to run, and I'm really worried about that. I like her approach here of, I know I can run this hoop, I'm just running it.
Well, it's another one. It's 7-1. It's 7-1 for 7-1 for the match, isn't it? And I mean, she's got to be back. She's got to be backing herself. She must be with more than 50% to run that.
Maybe yellow was playing on her mind a little bit, but still, right choice. These things happen.
We've seen this hoop lobbed a couple of times. I don't think there's any guarantee that yellow's running this hoop.
Yellow has to take the hoop shot on.
Oh yes, yellow has to take the hoop shot.
But this is, I'd say this is one of the best chances the Aussies have had to run this hoop, surely, right?
This looks like a good chance for the Aussies to run the hoop, absolutely. The hoop's been going on for a while, so I've sort of forgotten some of the other positions, I have to be honest. Yep, nice
nicely
hoop.
done.
So 6-2 now.
6-2 to the Aussies.
Aussies.
Sorry, 6-2 to the New Zealanders. That would have been a turnaround. And well, New Zealanders just need to approach this hoop business as usual and
get nice position. Not trying to get too tight though. Yes,
that's exactly
nice.
what she would have wanted.
That's exactly what she wants. Probably 2 yards.
If that. Very slightly off bang in front.
Yeah.
I mean, to win the game, this is the sort of hoop shot you're hoping for, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And look where red is. Red's got a big task ahead of her if she wants to hit this. That's if she can see it, actually. I don't know if hoop 6 might be a bit tricky. The peg might even be in the way.
Well, I think this is... Well, if she shoots at this, where does she end up? She ends up on the boundary if she misses, doesn't she?
If you can see blue, have a pop, because you're not going to get great position from where you are anyway. You're going to be near the boundary anyway. You may as well take the chance to shift blue, because blue can't be left there. And worst case scenario, you're a yard further from the hoop anyway. And
oh, she's getting down on the ground. I'm not sure she can see this.
It doesn't look like a shot. This looks like position, doesn't it?
Looks like position. I'm not sure she can see it. She did get down on the ground to have a look.
So that seemed to clear hoop 6 by some distance, and that's not reached. She had to be on side there. She had to be on the playing side there. Because Judy has to clear blue, so there's no chance Judy's in front of this hoop. Black's gone to...
That's nice in front.
Yeah, black's gone to nice position there.
Past the wiring line, but straight in front and not too near red, so that's fine. It's not in the way of blue.
Blocking blue there, I think, is a bit greedy, because if you don't quite get it, and at that distance there's a pretty low chance you'll get it, you're not in position. Instead, Ellie's like, I want another ball in position. And she's done exactly that.
We're on the line of the shot here. The lining up didn't look quite right.
And it's not gone quite right.
It's not gone quite right.
Potentially a little bit distracting having the camera right on the end of the sight line there. I think I played one game before. Oh no, 2. One game where it was supposed to be filmed, another game where a tourist was following me around with a camera. I've got to say the latter was definitely more distracting. And yeah, it can be a bit off-putting having a camera right on the end of the sight line.
That's okay.
That's okay. I mean, that's essentially game over, isn't it? it's not a nice way for the game to end.
So yellow might have a slither, but it's yeah,
it's desperate times, isn't it?
You're taking that, and to be honest, actually, how much of that ball is in the drawers? Is Black going to be playing
look
a
at
promotion?
that, we can see that there.
Yeah, so Black's probably just playing the shot to put that through. Enough of that is through the hoop that there's no real chance of Black knocking that out. So,
I mean, if you had to win this hoop, well, I mean, they do have to win this hoop, but if you had to, what line can you even do?
Red and yellow.
Red on Black, stop shot. Hope Black misses a return clearance.
Absolutely thwack at the hoop
Yellow
and hope blue pops out.
Crunches blue out the hoop. But this is desperate times, and I think the Aussies know it.
Yeah.
I think it's always a bit of a shame when the last hoop shot draws us, and it's essentially end of game, but the opponents are forced to play on, and they know that there's zero chance. So seeing a replay, so
of that hoop shot, yeah.
And you see it bounces back again, and then the
again
pulls
that
it through.
spin. So the spin helped Ellie at hoop 7, and then we got the spin here at hoop 9.
But yeah, spin, like putting a bit of forward roll on the ball when it's running hoops, it works wonders, doesn't it? Magical wonders.
Yeah, you can just see the difference on those two shots.
Yeah.
Where that ball's ended up, because that you know those couple of inches are so important, especially when you've got a ball at the side, that can.
And Ellie's not choosing to do the rush peel. I think that's fair enough. It's pretty low risk, but you know, Black potentially could mess up blue somehow, and it's pretty low probability that yellow.
I think blue's far enough through the hoop that I don't think there's any chance of Black messing up blue, but.
I think it's also not far enough that yellow can do too much about it.
I think this is a slither.
This is a slither, and if she gets all she can see, she's disappearing, blue's barely moving. And actually, that's a very good shot. That's a really good shot.
She's got that a really good distance out of the hoop as well, for the pace that she's.
That's a really good shot.
She's hitting it.
But the Aussies are still in firm control here, so yeah.
Yep, so there we've taken that back into a nice tight position, capitalising on the fact that yellow's been lost to the other side of the lawn.
But look at this, we see this on the replay now. Judy, who will be disappointed with a few shots she's played today, won't be disappointed one bit with this. Look at that. She hits all she can see, and she also generates enough power on it to shift blue, despite only having a slither. It's not earned her too much as a problem. Like, okay, it stopped the game ending there and then, but look at this situation. You've got to be backing the Kiwis to run this hoop still, right? And with it, take the match pretty convincingly.
Do you guys want to go? They've nearly finished. It's 6-2.
Yep.
They won't.
So up in the commentary box, we've got Malcolm and Ed, who are looking to take over pretty shortly. They're looking to give a completely unbiased viewpoint on one of the remaining sets of doubles in play. Perhaps the Fletchers versus Fordyce and Webby. So yeah, Ed will Ed and Malcolm will give a unbiased view of that, whilst their countrymen and family play.
I was going to say that. So that game now looks like it's at hoop 3 in game.
And I think the Fletchers took both hoops 1 and 2, right? I think they did. I think they're well up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we just had confirmation that they are 2-0 up, yeah. And actually in that game, it's probably, maybe you could see in the top left corner of your screen, I think it was it Rob who just did a crunching double takeout there to wrestle control hoop 3, so yeah. Shaping up to be a real battle over there. Talking of battles, Judy's battling again to come back into this hoop. Red and yellow are both on the far side of the lawn with the Kiwis balls both slap bang in front of this hoop 9. It's not looking good for the Aussies. that's made things
a little bit, little nudge on blue there.
Yeah, it's made things a bit better, but even so,
this is still another hoop shot for the game.
Yeah,
and game and match.
Yeah, you'd expect Helen to run through his hoop and to finish off this match. Shot. And that's that. So,
so that is the second game, 7-2 to the Kiwis. So they wrapped up that match. So that's now leaving the test score 4-2 to the New Zealanders.
And talking of wrap-ups, do you want to have a quick wrap-up before we hand over? What do you reckon was the difference in that game? I mean, there must have been a clear difference for the Kiwis to take the games. Was it 7-2, 7-2? Was it really
I think they just had a more positive approach in terms of generating balls in front of hoops, and then perhaps being a little bit more aggressive with which hoop shots they take on, even though they declined some of the ones in that second game. But no,
I think the Aussies may be coming off that lawn thinking we were never in front of the hoop, but they might also clock that they weren't cleared. You know, Helen and Ellie didn't play a particularly clearing-based game.
But they didn't need to, because they didn't have balls in front of hoops to clear. So I'll be interested to know if any of the Australians do watch this commentary back.
Yeah. Anyway, we're handing over now. We've got Ed, who's wearing trousers today.
Wasn't on the court.
Wasn't on the court.
I'll assure you, folks, that I was not wearing trousers on the court.
Cardinal sin, and I'm handing over to Malcolm. So enjoy the rest of today's play, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Thanks to the G's. We are Malcolm and Edward Wilson. Sorry, Malcolm Fletcher and Edward Wilson. We are two very unbiased opinions over this test match.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, we actually are pretty unbiased.
Yeah, and we will try and give just and fair commentary. So we're going to see if the cameras are all that accurate for
going to court 4
for the game on court 4 between Fletcher and Fletcher and Webby and Fordyce. So we also just, there we go. So we also just saw the end of the second game on court 3 between the Australian pair of Wendy Dixon and, oh golly, who was it? Wendy and Fleur Brockway and Sonia Sedgwick and who was her partner? Dallas Cook. There we go. Oh, sorry, that was the first game, was it? Or they haven't put the second into Croquet scores. So the first game was Kiwis 7-2. Second game was that? They were around.
I didn't see the score on that one, but it should be up online soon.
Yep. So we've got
back to court 4.
Fletcher and Fletcher versus so that's taken a little bit of hill there, and too gentle also. So it leaves both of the Australian pair with a hoop shot each if they want it. If not, tight position, I guess, but it looks like Greg's lining up for this.
But yeah, both of them are pretty attacking, and they'll be taking on the hoop.
They are clearing blue down the lawn, but I think they're going to take the hoop and be happy with that if one of them can get it. 3-1 up's 3-0 up is a fair advantage.
Yeah, 100%. It's always good to get the hoop rather than worrying about what happens next.
Yep.
So we get some shadows.
Those who have seen Greg play recently will have seen that he's been playing since the McRobertson Shield several inches down the mallet. This tournament he has changed back up the mallet like he was 30 months ago, 25, 26 months ago. Not long before the Mac, he was at the top of the mallet. And so, yeah, return to that grip for this tournament especially.
Yeah, he's been doing quite well with it.
Yeah, it's looked excellent when it's on.
Yeah, he's looked comfortable.
As always with changing grip, especially coming into a tournament fairly cold, you're always going to have a few slip ups. But yeah, he has, as Malcolm said, looked fairly comfortable.
So we've got back on court 4. We've got Felix and Edwin just thinking about what they're going to do here. So they're a little bit worried about where they can leave the black without being too much a disadvantage to themselves. But I'm not convinced that was the best option.
No, he looks to have gotten the block though.
Yeah,
but Fletcher would just clear.
I'm thinking that it's
down
an
the
easy
lawn
stun
and,
shot, whereas if they're gone close,
yeah, a bit of top spin on the stun shot.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Tight position would have put a lot more pressure on Robert to produce a good clearance or a good hoop stroke.
That's right, because he's in a position now. He can jump blue if blue does go through
Absolutely.
nicely as well.
And
if you
red's
see where
relatively level, so a good clearing shot with red is definitely on the cards. Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
It's